You've wasted years losing women who were secretly turned on by you, simply because you couldn't see what was right in front of you. Not because you were weak, but because nobody ever taught you the truth. Women almost never show desire with their words, only with their instincts. And every time you missed those signals, another man who understood them stepped in and took what could have been yours. You've been in this moment more times than you want to admit, sitting across from her, pretending to focus on the conversation while your entire body registers something your mind refuses to trust. Her eyes hold yours a second too long. Her smile softens only for you. Her body leans in just enough for her warmth to brush against your skin. And for a split second, you feel it. The pull, the spark, the shift. But you shut it down. You tell yourself you're imagining it, that she's just being polite, that believing she wants you will only make you look stupid again. Because every time you trusted that instinct in the past, you were wrong. Rejected, embarrassed, laughed at. So now you've become cautious, too cautious. You wait for some perfect, undeniable sign she'll never give. You wait for her to say words she will never say out loud. Not when reputation, judgment, and consequence shape every syllable she speaks. So she hides her desire where words can't interfere, inside the reactions she can't control. Her pupils widen, her breath deepens, her voice softens, her energy shifts toward you like gravity. Her body tells the truth, while her mouth protects her image. And this exact moment, is where you've always misread her. Not because you're blind, but because no one ever taught you the language she actually uses when she's secretly turned on. And until you learn it, you will keep losing the women who wanted you most. You're already seeing what most men stay blind to. Keep sharpening that awareness. Hit subscribe and stay close. The deeper truths, the darker instincts, the signals only high-caliber men notice are coming next. Don't fall back into the old version of yourself. Level up right here. You've gone your whole life thinking women are confusing, when in reality, you were simply taught to watch the wrong things. And here's the part that stings the most. Every moment you hesitated, every chance you let slip through your fingers, every night you lay awake replaying what happened, none of it was because she didn't feel anything. It was because you were looking for clarity in the one place she never communicates it, her words. Society trained you to take everything she says at face value. Be respectful. Don't assume. Don't misread the situation. And because you're a good man, you listened. You learned to hold back. You learned to doubt yourself. Meanwhile, she learned the opposite. She learned to mask discomfort with a polite laugh. She learned to hide attraction behind a calm expression. She learned to bury craving under layers of social grace. From the time she was a little girl, she was taught to protect her image first, express desire second, to stay likable, to stay composed, to avoid being judged, labeled, or misunderstood. So while you were learning to speak literally, she was learning to speak in codes. And those codes show up in the one place she can't fully control, her body. But because no one ever told you that, you search for signs in her sentences instead of her nervous system. She says, "I'm not looking for anything serious," and you believe her, even when her eyes keep drifting to your lips. She says, "We're just friends," and you lock yourself in a cage she built for her own protection, even when she hugs you longer than necessary or finds excuses to touch you. She says, "You're such a good guy," and you put yourself in the nice, safe, sexless little box she uses to hide her attraction, because admitting desire would make her feel exposed. And here's the real punch to the gut. She expects you to know the difference. She expects you to sense the shift in her breathing. She expects you to feel the tension she's trying to contain. She expects you to see what she won't dare say. Not because she's manipulative, not because she enjoys confusing you, but because desire, her true, raw, unfiltered desire, is ancient, older than language, older than etiquette, older than shame. Her instincts were never meant to be spoken. They were meant to be recognized, and that's where most men fall apart. You keep looking for a verbal confirmation, a sign that feels safe, a permission slip that removes all risk of rejection. But desire is never spoken that way. Attraction doesn't announce itself. Chemistry doesn't politely knock on the door. It shows up through the cracks, through a glance she didn't mean to give you, through the softness in her tone when you get close, through the way her body angles toward you, even when her mind tells her to play it cool. And every time you ignore those signals, every time you wait for clearer proof, you create a gap between you and her. A gap where bolder men step in. Men who aren't better than you, just more attuned. Men who don't need her to spell out what she's feeling because they learned to read what you were never taught to see. And that's the pain point most men never face. It's not that she's unreadable. It's that you've spent your entire life reading from the wrong script. Once you finally understand what she's really communicating, everything changes. Because the truth is, she was never a mystery. You were just never handed the map. You've spent your whole life thinking female desire is this unpredictable storm, random, emotional, impossible to understand. But the truth is far simpler and far more dangerous. A woman's lust doesn't come from the place you expect. It doesn't start in her thoughts, her fantasies, or her intentions. It begins in a system far older, far deeper, far more primal than anything she can consciously control. While you're trying to interpret her logic, her nervous system is already 3 steps ahead, reacting to you in ways she couldn't hide, even if she tried. And this is where everything you thought you knew about attraction begins to fall apart. Her body has 2 languages, the one she chooses and the one she's born with. The first is crafted, polite, deliberate, socially acceptable. The second is instinctive, raw, automatic, honest to the bone. When desire hits her, it bypasses her mind completely and hijacks her physiology. Her pupils widen to absorb every detail of your face. Her breath deepens, preparing her body for closeness. Her hips shift ever so slightly to angle toward you. Her voice softens because her defenses are lowering. These aren't choices. These are ancient biological reactions, silent confessions her mouth will never dare to speak aloud. This is why she can smile calmly while her heart rate spikes the moment you step closer. Why she can say, "We're just friends," while her body unconsciously mirrors your posture with perfect precision. Why she can talk about something trivial while her pupils dilate every time you lock eyes. Her mind is performing. Her body is betraying her. And the mistake most men make is believing the performance instead of the truth. Think about every time she acted normal, but something in your gut felt different. Your instincts weren't wrong, you just didn't understand what they were picking up on. A woman's desire lies in these subtle, involuntary shifts. They're not random. They're not accidental. They're the echoes of a survival mechanism passed down through thousands of generations. Before language existed, before culture shaped behavior, before women were taught to hide what they feel, they signaled attraction through their bodies, quietly, strategically. This biological code is still there, operating beneath the surface of every interaction. The crazy part? Most women aren't even aware of these reactions. She doesn't think, "Let me widen my pupils." Her brain does it for her. She doesn't plan to lean in or expose her neck or drop her voice. Her nervous system does it because something about you has triggered a subconscious response. This is why her words often contradict her signals. Not because she's deceptive, but because her instincts and her logic are fighting two different battles. One rooted in biology, one rooted in reputation. So when you stand in front of her, you're not just dealing with the woman she presents to the world. You're dealing with millions of years of evolutionary wiring firing beneath her awareness. This is the real mechanism of female lust. Not a mood, not a choice, not a logical conclusion, but a full-body reaction she can only hope you're too clueless to notice. Because if you do notice, you become dangerous. You become the man who can read her without asking. The man who doesn't wait for permission her instincts have already given. The man she feels drawn to in a way she can't rationalize or hide. And once you understand this mechanism, you stop listening to her excuses and start watching her biology, because her body will reveal what her mind is terrified to admit. And from this point forward, you'll never see a mixed signal again, only the truth she's been trained to disguise. Now that you understand the machinery behind her desire, the nervous system that reveals what her words try to hide, you're finally ready to see the signals she never meant for you to notice. And once you recognize them, they're impossible to unsee. These aren't gestures she practices. They're not flirtatious tricks. They're involuntary reactions, like the way your heartbeat spikes when you're near danger. Except for her, you are the danger, the one she's drawn to, the one her body responds to before her mind can shut it down. Every signal is subtle on its own, but together, they form a pattern of raw, unfiltered attraction that only a high-awareness man can read. The first and most unmistakable sign is her eyes. Not the way she looks at you. Anyone can fake that. It's the way her pupils expand the moment you come close, like her body is trying to drink in more of your presence. It's the micro glance at your mouth when you're talking. A tiny betrayal of the thoughts she's trying to suppress. Women don't stare at the lips of men they feel nothing for. When her eyes drop for even half a second, it's because something in her is already imagining what it feels like to close that distance. Then there's the shift in her breath. So slight, most men never notice. Her breathing goes from steady and controlled to slower, deeper, softer. It's her nervous system lowering its guard, preparing her body for intimacy, even if she's telling herself she shouldn't feel anything. You'll hear it in the space between her words, the small inhale when you lean in, the quiet exhale when your arm brushes hers. That isn't comfort. That's tension. Sweet electric tension her body can't hide. Her proximity tells you even more. A woman who is indifferent keeps her distance effortlessly, but when she's secretly turned on, she hovers closer without thinking. She stands near you even in a crowded room. She finds reasons to stay within reach. Her knees angle toward you. Her hips tilt your way. Her body aligns with yours like you're pulling her in with a magnetic field she can't break away from. And if she touches you, lightly, accidentally, repeatedly, you're not imagining the intention. Women don't touch men they're trying to avoid. They touch men they're trying to get closer to without giving themselves away. And finally, there's her voice, the quietest but most honest signal of all. When she's secretly aroused, her tone softens, slows, drops half a level lower. It's unconscious, instinctive, a natural feminine response to masculine presence. Her words may stay calm, casual, controlled, but the sound of them gives everything away. Individually, these signals seem harmless, but together, they form one undeniable truth. Her instincts have already said yes long before her mind ever will. Most men sabotage themselves because they cling to a single signal and build an entire fantasy on it. One long glance, one smile, one playful touch, and instantly, they assume she wants them. But desire, real desire, never announces itself through one isolated reaction. A single sign means nothing. It can be politeness, habit, social training, or simple friendliness. And this is where countless men fall into the trap. They mistake one spark for a fire that isn't there. Or worse, they see one spark and convince themselves they're imagining it, even when her entire body is quietly giving them permission. This is why the cluster rule exists, because female desire isn't linear, it's layered. It reveals itself through patterns, small, subtle, overlapping reactions that only make sense when you put them together. One sign is noise, 3 signs are a signal, 5 signs are a confession. Think about it. Her pupils dilating could be lighting. Her soft voice could be mood. Her leaning in could simply be the environment. But when her pupils dilate and her voice drops, and she keeps stepping into your space, and her breath deepens, and her eyes drift to your mouth, now you're no longer guessing. Now you're reading a biological pattern she doesn't even realize she's projecting. Most men who miss opportunities do so because they isolate signals instead of connecting them. They see her look at their lips, but ignore the way she fidgets with her jewelry. They hear her laugh, but don't feel her breath slow down when they get closer. They notice her touch, yet overlook the way her hips angle toward them. And because they analyze everything separately, they fail to see the truth forming right in front of them. The opposite mistake is just as destructive, assuming too much from too little. A woman smiles politely, and a man thinks she's attracted. She touches his arm once, and he believes she wants him. He crashes headfirst into assumptions and ends up rejected, embarrassed, and confused. All because he trusted one sign instead of the pattern. That's why the cluster rule is your anchor. It protects you from delusion and exposes what's real. When a woman is secretly turned on, her body doesn't send signals randomly. It sends them in clusters, cascading one into another because her nervous system can't contain the instinct. Her eyes open the door. Her breathing invites you in. Her posture keeps you close. Her voice softens the space between you. Her touch breaks the final barrier. When you learn to read these layers as one unified message, everything becomes obvious. You're no longer guessing. You're no longer hoping. You're no longer hesitating. You're interpreting a language written into her biology long before she learned to hide what she feels. And once you see that pattern, once the cluster becomes clear, you'll know with certainty. This isn't friendliness. This isn't politeness. This is desire leaking through the cracks. When you finally recognize a cluster of her signals, when her eyes linger, her breath shifts, her voice softens, her body drifts closer, you will feel a surge inside you, a rush of certainty, a spark of confidence you haven't felt in years. And this is exactly the moment where most men destroy everything. Not because they're evil, not because they're aggressive, but because they get excited. They break their own frame. They start performing, overcompensating, proving themselves, trying too hard. What was once magnetic suddenly becomes desperate. Attraction dies the moment you chase it. So your first response is simple. Hold your center. Stay grounded. Stay calm. Let her feel that you are not shaken by her interest. A man who loses his composure when a woman is drawn to him instantly becomes less attractive. But a man who stays steady, who receives her signals without flinching, becomes 10 times more compelling. Because your stillness tells her the truth. You are not intimidated by her desire. The next step is to match her energy, not overwhelm it. If she leans in, you lean in slightly. If her voice drops, you lower yours gently. If she steps closer, close a bit of the distance, but not all of it. Leave space for tension to breathe. Desire grows in the gap between two bodies, not in a collision. She needs to feel the charge, not the pressure. When you move in rhythm with her signals, you're not forcing anything. You're aligning. You're letting her feel that the connection unfolding is mutual, not something you're taking from her, but something you're sharing with her. Then comes the moment 90% of men fail, creating controlled tension. You do this with pauses, with silence, with the courage to hold eye contact just one heartbeat longer than comfort allows. You let her feel the weight of your presence without rushing into action. A woman's desire deepens when you make space for it to breathe, a soft pause between sentences, a slow inhale before you speak, a quiet smile instead of a quick response. These moments make her feel seen without feeling pushed. They make her curiosity rise. They make her nervous system lean into you rather than recoil. And when the tension is undeniable, when the signals form a cluster, when the energy thickens, when her body keeps returning to yours, you take the final step. Lead with clarity, not pressure. That means guiding, not grabbing. Inviting, not expecting. A simple line like, "Let's step over here for a minute," or "Walk with me," or even just offering your hand and seeing if she takes it. You're not coercing anything. You're testing the connection that her own body has already initiated. If she follows, if she moves with you, if her attent stays close, her instincts are telling you this is mutual. If she pulls away, pauses, or hesitates, you respect that immediately. True attraction never requires force. It flows naturally when both sides feel the same pull. The real power is not in making a move. It's in knowing when the moment is real and responding with strength, calmness, and respect. There's a truth men rarely face, not because it's hidden, but because it's uncomfortable to accept. A woman's desire doesn't begin in her sentences, her explanations, or her careful disclaimers. It begins in the quiet spaces between those words. In the subtle shifts her body makes long before her mind decides what the right response should be. And when you finally learn to see those shifts, you begin to understand something deeper, something older than language itself. Attraction didn't start with culture. It started with biology. Not the kind that removes her choice or her awareness, but the kind that shapes the way she responds long before she even analyzes why. Women have been taught their whole lives to think before they express, to speak in ways that keep them safe socially, emotionally, and even physically. That conditioning runs deep, but beneath it sits something even deeper, a layer of instinct that doesn't announce itself with bold gestures. It whispers instead. It leaks through her breath, her gaze, her posture, her tone. It's not desperation. It's not loss of control. It's the quiet honesty of her nervous system communicating long before her logic decides what's appropriate to reveal. And this is where most men misunderstand female desire. They expect it to be loud, obvious, verbal, mirroring the way men often experience their own attraction. But for her, desire emerges like a shadow at the edge of awareness. Not reckless, not chaotic. Just real. A slow expansion, a softening, a pull she may not fully name yet, but one she feels nonetheless. And the truth is, she's not hiding it from you. She's navigating it within herself. That's the dark truth. Desire isn't something she declares, it's something she allows to surface. And the men who understand this aren't the ones who push, force, or chase. They're the ones who pay attention. The ones who read what's there without demanding more. The ones who understand that attraction is a dance. Subtle, mutual, unspoken, until both sides are ready to speak it. When you learn to see her desire for what it is, not a performance, not a signal to exploit, but a living, breathing response, you stop trying to take the moment and start meeting it. You stop guessing and start recognizing. And she feels that difference instantly, because nothing draws a woman closer than a man who respects her signals as much as he understands them. You're here because something in you awakened. A clarity you didn't have before, a sense of control you've been missing for years. You're no longer operating blind. You're seeing the signals, the shifts, the truth her body whispers before her words catch up. And that puts you in a different category of men, the rare few who actually understand female desire instead of chasing shadows. Keep going. Lean into this awareness. And if you want to master every layer of this psychology, the instincts, the timing, the dark subtleties, hit subscribe and stay close. The version of you that women feel drawn to starts right here.